Who is God? Where is he? And what is he actually like? These are probably some of the oldest, biggest questions we've ever asked. So today, we're going to dive into some fascinating answers from the philosopher Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya. Just stop and think about it for a second. We've got entire galaxies spinning in this beautiful cosmic dance, planets orbiting suns with a precision you could set your watch to. And right here on Earth, seasons change, right on cue. Tiny seeds become massive trees. It's all part of this incredible, intricate system. So the first big question is, are we supposed to believe that all of this perfect order is just one giant, random coincidence?
Okay, here's a simple way to think about it. If you saw a complex watch, with all its tiny gears and springs working together, you'd never assume it just randomly assembled itself, right? Of course not. You'd know someone designed it, someone built it. Well, the argument here is that the universe, it's an infinitely more complex machine.
Or let's try another analogy. Think about any system that works really well. A company, a city, anything. It needs a manager, right? Some kind of organizing principle to keep things from falling into chaos. So if we look at the cosmos, with its unbreakable laws of physics and nature, it kind of looks like the most well-managed system imaginable. And that logic, it points to some kind of guiding, organizing force behind it all.
So, what do we call this power? Well, the author gives it a name, Ishwar. Now, it's really important to get this. We're not necessarily talking about a person sitting on a cloud. Ishwar is the name for that fundamental, creative force that runs the whole show. It's the answer to that first big question, who is God? It's this organizing power. Right, so let's get a really clear definition on the table so we're all on the same page. Ishwar is described as this supreme, unseen power that doesn't just create everything, but also organizes and governs it. And it does this based on a set of fixed cosmic laws. So the key takeaway here is to think of it less as a being and more as a fundamental principle of order. Okay, so if this governing power called Ishwar exists, the next question just pops right up, doesn't it? Where is it? If it's running everything, where exactly are we supposed to look for it?
And yeah, this is the big one, the major hurdle for a lot of us. If this power is so real and so important, why can't we see it? Why can't we put it under a microscope? Well, the philosophy we're digging into has a really cool way of explaining this. And it all comes down to the relationship between subtlety and, well, being everywhere.
Now this is a fantastic way to break it down. It uses the 5 classic elements to illustrate a really deep idea. So look at Earth. It's solid, right? It's easy to see and contain. But water's more subtle. It can seep into the Earth, go places the Earth can't. Air is even more subtle. It's everywhere, filling every space. Then you have fire, or energy, which is more subtle still. And finally, there's Akash, or ether, the very fabric of space itself. It's the most subtle of all, and it pervades everything. You see the pattern, right? The more subtle something is, the more it's everywhere.
So, if we follow that logic all the way to its conclusion, what do we get? The author suggests that Ishwar is the ultimate in subtlety. It's an essence that's even finer, even more fundamental than the ether that already fills everything.
And boom, there's our answer. If Ishwar is subtler than the subtlest thing we know, which is already everywhere, then it must be, well, absolutely everywhere, in every single atom. It's not in some faraway heaven, it's woven into the very fabric of existence itself. There's literally no place where it is not.
Okay, so we've talked about what Ishwar is, this governing power, and where it is, everywhere. So now we can finally get to that third juicy question. What is this cosmic power actually like? What are its characteristics?
So the source text gives us this amazing blueprint. First, Ishwar is Nirakar. That means it's formless, an abstract principle, not some kind of person. It's Sammadarshi, which means it's totally impartial, seeing everything and everyone with an equal eye. It's Sakshi, a silent, unattached witness that just observes what's happening. It's the data, the giver, the ultimate source of everything. It's also Nirlipt, meaning it's completely unaffected by praise or blame or anything that goes on. And finally, it is the very foundation of Dharma, or cosmic law itself. This comparison really helps make it crystal clear. On the one hand, you've got this very common idea of a personified God, a being with a form who lives somewhere specific and who can be happy or angry with you. But on the other hand, you have this idea of Nirakar Ishwar, a formless, abstract power that is everywhere all the time and operates not based on emotion, but on fixed, impartial, universal laws. It's a really different way of looking at things. All right, so a formless, impartial power that's everywhere and runs on fixed laws. I know what you might be thinking. That sounds pretty distant, pretty abstract. But this is where the philosophy brings it all back home and connects it to our daily lives. Why does any of this matter to us?
Here's the practical application, and it's a powerful one. The belief that there is a constant, impartial, silent witness to every single thing you do and even think, well, it acts like an invisible policeman. But it's not about being afraid of getting punished by some angry god, not at all. It's more about developing an internal moral compass, knowing that every action you take has a consequence within this perfect system of cosmic law.
And that whole system of law is called Dharma. Think of it as the ultimate rulebook for the universe, the cosmic and moral law of how to create order, righteousness, and harmony. According to this view, Ishwar isn't just the creator of these laws, it is the law. So, to live an ethical life simply means to align your own actions with the fundamental order of the universe.
This quote just wraps it all up so perfectly. The universe runs on rules. We have the freedom to act however we want within those rules, but this governing power simply observes, totally unattached, and lets the natural laws of cause and effect do their thing.
So, that kind of leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. This philosophy really challenges us to shift our whole perspective. What if the ultimate power in the universe isn't a person we need to please, but a fundamental principle of order and harmony that we can actually understand and align ourselves with? What changes for you when you start to see the divine not as a king on a throne, but as the very law of existence itself?